Yo, what's good? What's popping? This article that I'm about to read to you guys confirms my theory on what I said about the whole Kevin Durant asking for a trade or demanding a trade from the Brooklyn Nets is a result of the Nets not wanting to keep Kyrie Irving. Because right now, and I'm going to read this article to you. As a matter of fact, the link to this article is located in the video description box underneath. And according to this article, the LA Lakers and the Brooklyn Nets have no traction of any trade being conducted between them two when it comes to Kyrie Irving, which means that the two teams have not given any information or any report on an interest on doing any transaction deals to trade Kyrie Irving, which means that most likely Kyrie Irving is not on the trading block, at least when it comes to a trade between the Nets and the Lakers, right? And I go as far as to say that right now, Kyrie Irving is not even on a trading block. Why? Because of, according to my opinion, because of the bold move that Kevin Durant did in demanding a trade. Let me read the article to you guys. Because usually when NBA teams trade for players, a representative from the team usually give out information in what their interests are, and what they're interested in giving up in return to get another player, right? But so far, neither the Brooklyn Nets or the Los Angeles Lakers actually give any information on what they're interested in trading for Kyrie Irving. The Nets have not reported what they're interested in receiving from the Lakers to give away Kyrie Irving, and likewise, the Los Angeles Lakers never gave reporters any information on what they're willing to give up in order to receive Kyrie Irving, right? That's because, in my personal opinion, Kyrie Irving is no longer on the trading block due to the pressure that Kevin Durant put on the Brooklyn organization when he demanded the trade. Like the video that I uploaded earlier about Kevin Durant and why I believe that him demanding a trade from the Nets was a good move. Kevin Durant was doing that as in order to leverage against the Brooklyn Nets organization in order to force the Brooklyn Nets to not trade Kyrie. So basically, in my personal opinion, Kevin Durant went to the Brooklyn Nets organization and says, hey, listen, if Kyrie is gone, then I'm gone. So let me pull up this article, right? And once again, the link to this article is located in the video description box underneath. Let me pull up this article. Okay. This article is from CBSSports.com. And let me zoom in a little bit. Okay, it's from CBSSports.com, and the title says, Kyrie Irving trade rumors. Lakers Nets have no traction on any potential deal, per report. Because remember this. Within the past week and a half and 2 weeks, it's been rumored that Kyrie Irving is going to get traded to the Lakers. As a matter of fact, other sources have stated that one of the biggest destinations that Kyrie Irving wants to go to is to the Lakers to reunite with LeBron James. But like this article says, none of those two teams, the Nets or the Lakers, have given reporters any information on what they're interested in giving up and acquiring in order to trade Kyrie Irving. But I'll read this article. Early reports suggest Irving could be traded in a deal involving Westbrook. This article was written by Jack Maloney, and it was written today, 7 hours ago today, July 5th, 2022. And this is a picture of Kyrie, right? And let me close this window. I want to go. Okay. Anyway, right? The article starts by stating this. The Kyrie Irving saga continues to take several twists and turns, and the latest information suggests there's no traction in a potential trade that would send Irving to the Los Angeles Lakers, according to Shams Charania. The Lakers are one of Irving's preferred suitors if he were to be traded from the Brooklyn Nets, and previous reports suggested a potential deal could be done that would involve swapping Irving and Russell Westbrook, according to Chris Haynes. However, Charania said Tuesday he's not sure we will see a deal that sends Irving to the Lakers as the Nets continue to try to find the best value in trades for both Irving and Kevin Durant. Irving recently opted into the final year of his deal worth $36.4 million. But after his star teammate Kevin Durant requested a trade from the Nets, it's been widely considered the All-Star guard will be moved as well. If Kevin Durant is on the first train out, Kyrie Irving will be on the caboose as far as the Nets are concerned, Brian Windhorst reported last week. In other words, if Kevin Durant leaves, of course, Kyrie Irving will leave. See, okay, let me go. Okay, in this paragraph, it stated that Kyrie Irving opted into his final year of his deal only after Kevin Durant requested a trade from the Nets. Now, I thought Kevin Durant requested a trade from the Nets after Kyrie opted in to his final year of his contract with the Nets. But no, it was, according to this article, Kevin Durant demanded a trade before Kyrie Irving chose to opt in to his final year of his contract with the Brooklyn Nets. So that means because remember, before Kyrie Irving opted into his final year of his contract, a lot of people thought that he was going to opt out, being the fact that the Brooklyn Nets and Kyrie Irving couldn't make a deal to extend Kyrie Irving's contract with the Nets, right? So boom, according to this article, Kevin Durant said he was going to leave, demanded to get traded, which further proves my theory in that the reason why Kevin Durant demands to be traded from the Nets is because he feels as though the Nets is not interested in keeping Kyrie on the team, but KD wants Kyrie in the team. So he's saying, hey, if Kyrie is gone, I'm gone. This further proves my theory. All right? But I'll continue reading the next paragraph. Coming off an off-season in which he played just 29 games because he refused to receive the Wuhan vaccine, and given his previous injury history, Irving hasn't played 70 games in the season since 2017 when he was still with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Damn. It's been like 5 years since he played at least 70 games in the season. The market for the Mercurial guard is understandably not as robust as the one for Durant. The Lakers, though, have very little to lose. Irving represents their best chance to add talent this summer, and he has a previous relationship with LeBron James. Both players will be hitting free agency next season, and the Lakers are trying to squeeze one more title out of the LeBron and Anthony Davis pairing. Irving has his fair share of negatives, but on the court he would be a much better fit than Westbrook. That's true. That is true. A healthy Kyrie Irving would be a much better fit for the Lakers than Westbrook. Although, me being a Laker fan, I'm really not interested in Kyrie Irving coming to my team, but I would rather have Kyrie Irving as my star point guard than Russell Westbrook. But I'll continue reading. you know, and would greatly increase the Lakers' title odds, right? Okay, moving on. Of course, trading Westbrook is much easier said than done. The Lakers have been trying to do so since the middle of last season. They shouldn't have gotten his ass in the team anyway. Thank you, LeBron. I'll continue reading. Just moments after they originally acquired him, he recently opted into the final year of his contract, which is worth $47 million. Damn, so next season, Russell Westbrook will be making $47 million in one season. Ain't that some shit? Which makes a trade tricky from a logistical perspective. Plus, there's the fact that he's well past his prime, but still needs the ball in his hands the majority of the time to be effective at all. There really aren't any basketball situations that make sense, but the Nets are in a bad spot after the Durant trade request. Because this means that the Nets would have to give up what I consider to be one of those once-in-a-lifetime type of plays in Kevin Durant. Because remember this, like I said in one of my previous videos regarding Kevin Durant wanting to get traded, Durant is one of the top 5 players in the NBA right now. He's probably arguably the second or third best player in the entire league. And it's hard for a team that has that type of player to replace him. Because it'll be a long time until a team like the Brooklyn Nets would have like a top 5 player in their team if they let go of Kevin Durant. I mean, hell, look at Oklahoma City after Durant. But I'll continue reading. Which further shows that, okay, but before I continue reading, I want to say one more thing, which further shows what I said is correct as far as Kyrie Irving making trade demands is really a leveraging game to try to convince the Brooklyn Nets organization to keep Kyrie Irving. Because, like I said in that last video, all of this revolves around Kyrie Irving. If Kyrie Irving received an extension from the Brooklyn Nets, you will not hear any a peep out of Kevin Durant wanting to get traded. But I'll continue reading. There really aren't any basketball situations that make sense, but the Nets are in a bad spot after the Durant trade request and might be willing to take Westbrook on as an expiring contract if they can move Irving and coax some concessions out of the Lakers. In particular, the Nets will be eager to acquire some draft picks given how many they owe the Houston Rockets in the coming years via the James Harden trade, which didn't work out. Per Haynes, draft compensation is currently one of the biggest sticking points in completing a trade, which could be a reason this potential trade hasn't gained any traction. The Lakers are also out a bunch of future draft picks via the Anthony Davis deal. I don't believe that. I really believe, even though this is the opinion of Chris Haynes, but I really believe the reason why this trade between the Nets and the Lakers haven't gone through yet is because the Nets organization is backing out of it because they really don't want to lose Kyrie now that KD demands to be traded. They want to do whatever it takes to keep KD. And one of these things is trying to find a way to keep Kyrie, right, in the team for a long-term shot, right? But I'll continue reading. And were previously unwilling to attach future first-round picks to move Westbrook. If they can get Irving, though, they, as in the Lakers, though, it may be worth the price. Furthermore, the teams apparently don't agree on the other players to be involved. Most notably, the Nets want to move Joe Harris, who has 2 years and $38.6 million remaining on his contract and is coming off ankle surgery. But the Lakers are pushing to get Seth Curry instead. Oh wow, the Lakers want to trade for Seth Curry instead of Kyrie Irving. Wow. As Sharania reported, it does not appear a deal is imminent at this point, but as time passes, both sides could eventually agree to a trade that will reunite Irving with LeBron and win the purple and gold. Yeah, no, yeah. I don't think the deal going to go through. I don't. I don't. You know, I think that I think really the Brooklyn Nets organization feels pressure to keep Kyrie, being that they believe that letting Kyrie go would automatically let KD go. Shoot, KD wants Kyrie Irving to stay in Brooklyn with him. That's my theory, and I believe that this article further affirms my theory. But you know what? As time passes, we'll see if my theory is right or wrong. Because I'm willing to accept that my theory may be wrong. You know, theories are 50-50. There's a 50% chance that a theory may be correct, but at the same time, there's a 50% chance that a theory may be incorrect. So there's a 50% chance that my theory can be incorrect, and I'm willing to take that. But you know what? But at the same time, I'm willing to sit there and say, hey, let the future show whether what I'm saying is true or false. Anyhow, I'm out of here, man. Peace. Peace out. Yo, yo.